What's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. I do apologize that I have not been able to make as many videos as I would have liked to over the last few weeks. We've been very busy, and also there's some things going on with one of my other companies that I have to take care of. Um, but I made a promise that I was going to get a video out to you. There has been a lot of uh, news or things that I've seen happening when it comes to credit and debt. First, let's start with, and let me run down what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the debt that's being released into the market. There is a ton of it, millions of dollars that they're trying to sell. Also, a tracing tool. Some of you may be aware of it. Some of you may not be aware of it. But all of the three of the credit reporting agencies offer this tracing tool to hunt down people for debt collection companies. So some people did not know that that is like the major place, and they have this algorithm. I'm going to explain that to you. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the credit repair process, understanding where you're at in the process. When I get questions from people they know they want the end result, which is credit repair, but they're kind of scrambled up on where they're at in the process. It's like some of you are thinking that you're ready for a certain part of credit repair when you're not. You're really at the beginning steps trying to figure out what is going to have to be done before you even get to the credit repair process. Yes, big picture, the whole thing is credit repair, but what I think what makes people quit during the process of credit repair is that they don't completely understand where their situation is at. I'm going to explain that, and then we're going to get into some questions and answers. The first thing, and I got the pictures either on the left or right of me, is the debt being sold into the market. Mixed credit card accounts, $1.8 million, 1,106 accounts, and charge-off date 2011, average charge-off date, and the average balance is $1,641.63. 50 state mix, and they're selling it for $2,723. Um, this is past statute of limitations for most states. You can see why they take the risk on it, though, is because if you're going to get $1.8 million in credit card debt that you can go and try to collect for $2,723, if you get two people, you've made your money back. And because people don't know their rights, they end up, paying on some of this debt here. The next one is mixed credit card accounts, principal amount 5,281,000. 5,726 accounts. Charge-off date 2008. Average balance $922. They're selling it for $3,961. So we can see here if they get four people out of the 5,700 people to pay the full amount of the average balance amount, they would make their money back. So you can see why they're willing to take the risk. Here's the next one: installment loans, 1.1 million, 492 accounts. Average charge off date 2014, 27. It's they forgot a digit there, but it looks like it's going to be $2,700 average balance. National, they're selling it for 5,500. It was 6,500. And the last one, 4,770,000. 2015 accounts. Average charge off date 2009, and the average balance $2,367, and they're selling it for 4,700 bucks. Something that had grabbed my attention when they were had sent these. They had in the email that the media had been updated, and what you'll find is that these accounts are sold to different collection agencies that are into collecting this old debt. And what they'll do is they'll update the what they call the media, which is the information about the customers. Now, how they're getting that updated information, this is how they're getting it. And a lot of people don't know it, and you can go to the different you can go to TransUnion, you can go to Experian, Equifax, and they have a section that's hidden on their websites. But if you go towards the bottom and look at the site map, you will see that they have these tracing tools. This is where they actually sell this information to debt collection companies. And let me get to the page. Okay, so if you want to go look at it yourself, you can go to one of the websites with TransUnion, and they don't actually call it skip tracing, but if you type it in on Google, you'll see it goes to their website. They actually call it their actual name of the product is, well, I guess it does say skip tracing, so it says TLOXP skip tracing tool. And what this tool does is it helps find people, helps debt collectors find people, and this is some of the things that they utilize to be able to do this. So, uh, if you own a business and you're hiding from a debt collector, they look at these different doing business as different headquarters. They actually have that written into the algorithm to help kind of uh, formulate, like, if this is you, do you have an LLC in this name? Do you have a doing business as in this name? It's using some similarities. They'll put those together to see if you're that individual. They also have unlisted landlines, cell phones, and utilities. They have assets, license, emails, social networks. Their algorithm will feed out and look at the social networks, look for your you either usernames or names or similar names, employment, social security numbers, relatives, and associates, so that the algorithm will, if you put someone on a reference on one application and maybe another person on another application, and the commonality is you, they're gonna that algorithm will help find and try to seek and put your information together and feed it out to the debt collector to say that is you. Uh, Criminal history, bankruptcies, liens, judgments, and more. Aliases, names, aliases, addresses, date of birth, death records. So this tool, what it does, their algorithm will mix all of that in, and it'll try to find the similarities. And if they're trying to track someone down, which is what debt collectors do before they send out those demand letters, what they do is they have to do this data to try to figure out if you are potentially that person, because when they're sending out those letters, they could be very close to breaking the law by sending an invoice to someone through the mail that it is not that person. And if you knew what to do when you send the letter back to them saying that this is not me and take me off the list, and you are going after the wrong person. That's why they, when they find that out, they really apologize, because they don't want to get into any court action for going after the wrong person. So what the bureaus are doing is they're giving them these tools so they can make it, can cut down on that, because a lot of debt collection companies have gotten into trouble, especially when they're going after this old debt. So when I had saw the email and it said that the media was updated on some of these files, not all of them, it had media was updated. What it was that they're running them through these tools, and even if they're not able to collect, there's other debt collectors that'll say, "Hey, I'll buy it and take the risk. I think that we'll be able to collect some of the money, and then if we don't, we'll sell it off to someone else for a smaller amount of money." So that's what they're doing. They're using those tools, and each of the bureaus are making these available. And another part on here that they don't really go into, but I'll tell you about it, is that another piece of this is the access that credit card companies and creditors will give to the bureaus to be able to scrape that information, and they're paying them to be able to do that. It is another profit center for businesses. Think about it. If you have a credit card company can make millions of dollars selling our information because they know what we like to buy. They know the memberships that we uh, are members of. If you're with Netflix, if you're got a gym membership, software that you buy, websites that you purchase things from, the types of stuff, types of clothes, shoes, all types of stuff. Even down if you buy your airline tickets and your gas using your credit card, so because you want to get the points, they know all of this stuff. And just think of all the thousands of companies that they can sell that data to. Take your name off of it, sell the data to, and they can make millions of dollars per day selling our information to thousands of companies that are willing to buy it. Why would those companies buy it? Because they know that if you are interested in this stuff, and there's nothing like giving someone more of what they're interested in. So really a lot of companies have become data companies. They're really in the business of selling data. That's like one profit center that they have now. That's what companies like Facebook do, Google, all of these different apps and stuff that are out there, Uber, the eating apps or whatever they call them, where they go and deliver stuff for. All of this stuff is built on algorithms, and they sell the information to other companies because they know exactly what we're doing. I mean, even if you get an app that shows you directions, that app, that company can sell your information to other companies. Say, hey, he likes doing this, and this. Wouldn't you just like to be able to send your mailer to him, or send a quick email out, or let's do a combined email and send it out to them, and we make money. So uh, when it comes down to these companies, some of the times, what they're actually selling us is not actually the way that they make their money. That's just the way that they bring us in, and then they sell our information over and over and over and over again. Okay, so now the next thing let's get into is the credit repair process, because I like to bring this up because a lot of people still get confused when they start their credit repair journey. Like you have bad credit. One side you have bad credit, other side you want to have good credit. But all of the stuff in the middle is where people are really just scrambled, and they get focused on the wrong things. If you're coming into a credit repair process and you have collections, you have debt, the number one thing that you should be focused on is the credit in the credit repair process is seeing what's going to happen with all of that debt that you have. Because if you are solely focused on just trying to wipe away that stuff by just sending out letters, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to need to understand that there's going to be a lot of back and forth work. Companies, you're not the only person that owe a debt collector. You're not the only person that owes an original creditor. There's millions of people. There's thousands of people with companies that owe that. You're a number in their file, and when it's sent to the bureaus are supposed to send that information to the furnisher, which could be a debt collector or an original creditor. If they do, some of the times they don't send it. Some of the times they just look in their database and they just say, "We think that this is accurate because the furnisher who it pays us this money every month placed it in there. That's good enough for us." We send it back and we just say that it's been verified. What we do as a credit repair company is we also send that information to the furnisher. And then that's when all of this work really starts to happen, because they're going to send letters back saying that you either owe this debt or you do not owe this debt, or something is inaccurate about it, and they're going to take it off your credit report. And they may say, well, it's inaccurate the way we have it. We're going to take it off, and then we're going to see what needs to be done with the client if we're going to either continue collection or not continue collection. That's where most of you are really at in your process. And but what happens is a lot of people start thinking, well, it has to be getting fixed so I can get to this point of having good credit. No, you're moving into that direction, but you got to be focused on what is happening right now. And for our company, what we do, we send that information out, results come back, and results are coming back very slow. So we've even added more into our process of dealing with the furnishers. So we have one with the process dealing with the credit bureaus, and then one process that's dealing with the furnishers. And we're seeing that stuff is starting to come back a lot faster. We're starting to see that the companies are reacting, and they're dealing with stuff a lot faster than the bureaus are dealing with stuff. And with the bureaus, we've heard it straight from their mouth that in their mail rooms, they're working with half of the people, and they're doing, you never know if a person who's working in the mail room wants to be working there, wants to be doing their job. And then once it gets to the people that are doing the investigation, you don't know what's going on with them. Maybe they're overloaded with stuff because half of the people are working and they're just saying verify, verify, verify. So we're doing stuff on the other end and we're seeing that a result is coming from that end, but the result is not being recorded right away to the bureau because the companies, when they send in their information, they're sending their information in on their time. Just because something gets fixed with furniture and they say that they're going to fix it on your credit report, it's not going to be done that day. What they do is they batch all of this stuff up in a Metro 2 and they send it out when they send out their information to the bureaus. And every company does it once a month. Some companies may even do it every other month, depending on what they're doing. Debt collectors maybe do it once a month. Some of them do it every other month. They'll send that information in to get removed off of the credit bureaus or any updates that they're going to be doing. So when it comes to your credit repair process, please understand where you're at. Regardless if you're working with me or someone else or you're doing it for yourself, is that you're gonna have to give it time. And I understand you want to get this stuff done and over with, but you're gonna have to give it time. And also, when it comes to doing settlements with companies, I was on the phone yesterday with a young lady, and I was talking to her about, one thing that was coming out of her mouth was, I want to get these settlements done. I owe these people money. I'm not going to be able to pay them fully 100%, but I want to get it done and I want them to wipe it off my credit at the same time when it's done. And I had explained to her that the way that process works is in that negotiation process when you're negotiating to get something removed. Uh, if you the lower you want something to get done, the more information and data a creditor is going to want to justify lowering the amount of a settlement. When you start throwing in that you want to get something removed off of the bureau, which is what we do in the process, they will sometimes come back and say, well, since you want to have that happen also, we are going to charge a little bit more. Only time they probably would charge more is if it was one of these types of debts where it was something that they know they bought for pennies on the dollar. But if it's one where they're collecting it for the original creditor, which is the situation of this individual, they are not where debt collectors have purchased the debt. They are in the situation where the original creditors still own the debt and they hired lawyers to go out there and collect the debt. That's going to be a higher settlement amount, and they're going to want more information if you try to go lower for settlement. And then when you throw in that you want to have that information knocked off your credit reports, and that's from an original creditor, they're going to want to get more money. And it's just logical that they're going to want more money because um, they're going to think that you're trying to do something, that you want to wipe that off because you want to go out and either buy a house or a new car or something. So you have an incentive. You have an incentive of why you want to have it removed, and they're going to be like, hey, their antennas are going to go up. Hey, maybe we can get more money. When we run into that situation, what we do is we just try to go back and forth, and say, hey, do you want to do this deal? This is what we need. We need to get it removed. But understand that they will want more information. Now, the more information that they may want is what they want to know, what is the situation of the hardship. I had another client, he had 120,000 in credit card debt. He always paid his credit cards. But what happened was a guy wrote, he sells diamonds, and the person wrote 60, I think it was 60 something thousand dollars in bad checks to him. And he gave him the checks, deposited them, and then when he deposited them, uh, all of them bounced. And he lost the diamonds that he sold, and he didn't get paid his money, and it made him fall behind on his credit card payments. And it doesn't look like he's going to ever get that money. He wants to make good on it. These cards just went bad. They didn't sell them to anyone. And so we made a hardship package, and we showed them the checks that were deposited for his business, and that they went bad, and that he's not going to get the money. And it looks like his business is just not going to be able to recover, because diamonds is really like a luxury item, and that market has not really came back due to what's going on with COVID-19. So, but he, for him, he just wants to settle them so he can try to rebound for his business. He's not even really looking at having it deleted off of his credit reports. He just doesn't want to file bankruptcy. He wants to recover. He wants to be able to keep his house. He wants to be able to keep his car. And also some of the stuff is mingled up with some other family members, so he does not want to file bankruptcy. So that's that situation on that. So now let's go into some questions and answers. All right, let's have a lightning round of questions. Someone stated here that their Santander account was just sold to another company demanding payment. What can I do to resolve this? You need to package up a demand letter to them stating that you know that Santander has entered into a multi-state settlement, and that you believe that your account is part of that settlement, and you want them to cease all collection activities. We've gotten response letters for these. Yeah, if you have your vehicle, that's one of the hardest things that Santander is going to give on. But when it comes to debt and repo and debt that's just hanging out there that they're never really going to be able to collect, those are the ones that's really easy to take care of, because they just know that they're not going to get paid any money. If you send a demand letter, send a consumer complaint with that. Also send them information about the settlement. They will cease the collection activities, and I'll also respond to to your um, your comment there. Someone says, okay, they want to know to get a charge off removed, how long does the process take? Depends on what it is, what type of charge off it is, how old it is it still with the original creditor, or is it sold to a debt collector? So it's all, that's again goes back into where you're at in the process. So it's a good question, but no one can really answer that question without looking at your information. When your information is looked at, that's when we're able to know approximately how the amount of time that it could take to get that removed. Someone had here, the car was repossessed, couldn't afford $800 a month after paying 20,000 on of a $30,000 loan at 29%, still owe $32,000, sold a vehicle at auction. This is one, what you need to do, you need to send that demand letter so you can get that debt removed. And also with Santander, I want to also say something. Santander, or not Santander, but the company Rusk has made an update on the website, which very little updates have been made on there. And they said that you should not, that you're going to be notified automatically if you're in the settlement, and to watch out for people that's trying to get you to take action on it. And, but if that was true, if that was true, uh, people, this company would not have done anything They would not have done anything. Number one, to even start the process, to even get the attorney generals to even do the lawsuit, people had to complain. Enough people complained, and then the attorney generals took action. Now, what is happening is that more people are complaining, and the attorney generals are looking at that and they're like, hey, people are calling us. This settlement was not good enough. There's more people in other states that have problems with this company. This company is rotten from what we can see from what customers are saying. And so maybe we need to take this up a notch. This is how other actions happen. If you just sit back and let a company that's being paid by a company to do the settlements, to reach out to people where they took months, people have lost their vehicles. People had to still keep paying even though they were going to get their vehicle and they took months. They're just now getting around to it. If you wait on them to take action, uh, nothing would ever get done. Let's see here. Someone said about should they freeze their LexisNexis uh, reports. Yes, you should freeze it if you are working on your credit. That is one option that you can do. You can freeze it, but e- even if you freeze it, there's certain information that the bureaus will be able to uh, get access to. It's best to just get your credit repair process going. Go to step one, which is to dispute what you think is inaccurate, dispute what you think should not be on your report, and then go on the other side and dispute it with the furnishers, and then see what happens from there. Even if you don't freeze your LexisNexis, first dispute those from those two angles, get that data back, and then make your decisions on how you're going to be moving forward with stuff. Next, when someone's been, I'm in Louisiana, my wages are garnished for a second time from a different job. 10 years later, I bought a house, judgment was pulled off my credit. Yeah, but it come up nowhere. Single mother, they're taking $600 a month from me. If you had a judgment, even if the judgment's taken off your credit reports, if you had a judgment, uh, that judgment is in action for 20 years. So I feel for you on that situation, but they can collect on a judgment for 20 years. Let's see here. Question: they paid Chapter 13 off 4 years house, but mortgage paid. Question is for you. I did a Chapter 13. That's where you pay payments for 4 years for my house, but the mortgage people not putting it on my credit, the house payments. What should you do? You should make them put it on there because they got the payments. You need to make them put it on there. You can draft a letter to them, and you can also send that to the credit bureaus, and you send it to the mortgage company, and that will get reported. Here's someone here. Should you report your rent payments to the bureaus? Yes, it will increase. It will improve your credit. There's several companies out there. There's one that we have. If you click below my link here, there's one that will report your rent on your bureaus. What if you're being sued by asset management? They say that they had the account that Santana repoed. Same thing as I mentioned above. Send them a letter stating that your account is potentially in the settlement and that you wish for them to cease all collection activities, send that debt back to Santander, send a copy of the settlement, of the Santander settlement agreement that they have with the state attorney general's offices. You can step it up a notch by sending a complaint, and it, I'm pretty sure that they'll send that back. Here's another question here. I have medical bills. They're not very high. The most is $1,000. They're stating that they're on disability and Social Security, and they have Medicaid. What you should do for this is number one, if you're on Social Security and Medicare, you need to see that if those debts were included with that. It's rare that I see anyone that's on Social Security, disability, and Medicare that would have any type of payments that would have to go to you if you're on those with both of those combined. So make sure that they build it. What could have happened is your number, ID number, maybe have changed, or maybe they typed it in wrong and they just didn't see that it should have been billed and paid through there. Or it could be a deductible, and you can see if that's true, and then maybe you can settle with them, letting them know that you are on disability. Let's see here. Someone said they love the Star Trek stuff. Me too. I'm putting together a new ship also. Let's see here. I think that'll do it. I'm gonna get on here. I finally figured out how to stop a lot of the people from posting the spam. You can see that a lot of that has went down. So we were able to get that taken care of. So please, to close everything out, please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please post your questions and comments. I'm going to get to them. I'm going to answer them in videos. I'm also going to go on there and answer some on the on YouTube also. If you need help with your credit, please visit thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need your credit reports and scores, that's where everything starts. A lot of this stuff can stop if you were just to have your complete credit reports and scores. Go to the number 3 scores.com. Um, Also, if you have a debt collector coming after you, get my free debt collector cease and desist letter and the statute of limitations letter. It's below here. You can the link is below this video. So until next time, this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. Thank you.